everybody? Welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Rob. And first, we want to say Happy New Year to you. This is our first video of the year, first big fight of the year coming up. We got Errol Spence defending his IBF welterweight title against Lamont Peterson. And also on that card, you got Robert Easter defending his belt, which I believe is IBF as well, against Javier Fortuna. So we're going to start with Fortuna and Easter and go up to the main event. Take it away, Rob.
Okay, so this should be a really interesting matchup because if you've seen Easter, he's about 5'11", but he's 5'11" at 135 pounds. That is real thin and presents plenty of problems due to his length, his height, and he has a really good motor, so he can throw a bunch of punches. But he kind of does that thing that what's your boy that welterweight does? Paul Williams does, where he doesn't really use his length like you would want him to for a guy that's tall. He likes to throw a lot of punches, and he will fight you in the box. But Javier Fortuna, if I can think of this right, that's exactly where he wants this fight.
Yeah. Well, Fortuna, he is a long-range guy, but he won't be able to use it like he usually does against someone like Easter, who's a lot bigger. He was, on the way up before having a few setbacks, but he is back in the title picture now. And look for him to use like an in and out type of thing on Easter, if Easter allows it. Which, like Rob said, Easter likes to be in the thick of it. He can close distance. He'll be on you the entire time. So he brings a lot of forward pressure that may not allow Fortuna to use the in and out countering style that he likes to use at times. And possibly he can drain that battery of Fortuna and might wear him out.
Yeah, especially with that pressure because he does come forward. He does have a somewhat of a wide stance, I would actually. But
Talk Fortuna?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
But the thing about Easter, and even in his last opponent, he had an opponent in front of him that should have been got out of there well before the 6th round. But it ended up going all 12 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it did.
And he has a habit of letting, I would say, overmatched opponents stay in the fight or last much longer. He's got to finish Fortuna, or Fortuna, if he can't tire Fortuna out and Fortuna's allowed to do what he wants and he doesn't finish him, then it's going to be another close fight. He's been privy to a few gift decisions in the past, as far, not saying that he didn't win the fights, but they were just a little too wide for comfort.
Right. And Fortuna is a sharpshooter, so he'll land judge-friendly punches. And against someone like Easter, who is giving up his reach and staying in your face, catching those judge-friendly punches aren't a good idea. But like Rob said, to a lot of judges, they have not seemed to care so far. So I am going with Easter by decision. It's going to be a hard-fought one because Fortuna is not a walk in the park. And I think that this one will be closer than the scorecards reflect, like Rob said in Easter's previous fights. Fortuna's going to land some nice punches, but Easter has shown a very good chin. And
oh yeah,
like I said, I think he can wear him out, but I don't know if he'll be able to stop him. So I think Fortuna will tire down the stretch, and his work rate will slow down. And those last few rounds, you'll just see Easter outworking him and winning with volume and activity. All right, so let's go into the main event where we got Lamont Peterson, who vacated the WBO welterweight title to fight Errol Spence, who holds the IBF title. In this one, we got two guys who like to work on the inside. They love to work the body. They're both heavily muscled. They're both very multi-dimensional in what they do. This is a good matchup. I'll just put it like that. Because of the high level that both of these guys operate in, Lamont Peterson being a multiple division world champion and has fought just about everybody between 140 and 147 And Errol Spence is the young lion coming up, starting to fight those names that he needs to put on his resume to be considered one of the best in the game. From an eyeball, from what we've seen, he is one of the best. And this is just another test to continue to prove that he is, or does he have to rebuild from here? Which wouldn't be a big loss if he did lose, because like we said, Peterson is a very accomplished fighter and a very capable fighter at that. So, what you got?
Okay, so it's an interesting matchup. Errol Spence, being that he's younger, he is pretty fast, but he has a lot of pop on those punches from a southpaw stance, which presents a lot of problems in itself, especially for a guy like Peterson. And the difference here is Peterson takes time to get going. A lot of times he doesn't turn up the heat until about the 5th or 6th round. He kind of measures himself because I think he has in his mind he wants to be able to make it through the fight. So he saves his gas tank for, say, the 5th round, the 6th round, and he'll choose to box in those first few rounds. Now, I know he's had problems in the past where I don't think he got busted for testosterone, but it was an issue where...
No, it was testosterone.
It wasn't testosterone?
For the Amir Khan rematch, but that was like, shoot, that's been almost 10 years. That was like 2011.
Unfortunately, those kind of issues follow you. But the thing about it is I know his coach has said that he wasn't feeling the way he should have with training for fights. And he can be caught cold. We saw in the Matisse fight, he was caught cold early.
Victor Ortiz, Tim Bradley. He's been down early a lot.
The thing about it is he's been down early, but Matisse is the only one that's been able to finish him early.
Yeah.
The problem is if you can't put him down and keep him down within the first 3 to 4 rounds, that creates a whole set of different problems going through the fight. Because one, he has felt your power. He either knows how to avoid it, knows he can take it, and it just will be harder and he's warmed up. So he's loose, he's moving around more. So he goes from boxing to a high guard, putting you against the ropes, and eating your body alive. And the good thing is we're going to see a lot of body shots because both of these guys are very good body punchers.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good inside fight. This one is one for people who like to fight on the inside, or if you want to teach somebody how to fight on the inside, you're going to put this video on and say, hey, watch these guys, because they put leverage in their shots. And like Rob said, Peterson is one of those guys who's a body snatcher. He's not going to level you with one punch to the head or to the body, but after you take round after round after round of body shots, you start to slow down and you're like, you know what, I gotta keep this guy off me somehow, some way, but I can't.
Now, this is probably going to be the most physical pressure that Errol Spence has gotten. We know he fought Kell Brook, who's able to match him boxing-wise up until the second half of the fight, but wasn't really doing any kind of body punching.
Right.
He's fought other guys who, again, tough chins. He's knocked out guys that other guys have had issues knocking out. Peterson, on the other hand, is going to, if he lets him get out of those 4 rounds, then I think Errol Spence will eventually overwhelm him and break him down because of those first few rounds. But if he doesn't, it's going to be a lot of fan-friendly, judge-friendly body punching from Peterson, as well as pressure and putting him up against the ropes. If he can encroach Errol Spence's face, make him go backwards, and I'm not talking go backwards on his terms, not on Errol Spence's terms, then you could see a close decision.
Yeah. And also Peterson gives a lot of different defensive looks too. Like Rob said, he'll go into the high guard. He will roll punches off of his face. He'll go into the shell. He'll slip. He'll duck. He'll move out of range. Errol Spence's defense is more so the subtle shifts in and out of range with the high guard. You don't get a lot of different looks from him defensively. And so far, it's been more than enough.
But he has been caught and hurt on occasion due to the fact that he applies defense more with his feet than any upper body movement. So I can see him being caught by a few shots from Peterson upstairs just because of the fact that Peterson will bring the pressure, he will encroach his space, and those subtle movements may be rendered moot.
Yeah. So we got two guys that are very good at judging distance and very good at leveraging their body shots. But I do think that Spence has the harder body shots, which may end up wearing Peterson down. So I'm thinking Spence maybe in about 10 rounds of an epic inside battle.
But don't be surprised if he knocks Peterson out early and catches him as he's warming up, because that can actually happen.
Right. Matisse was an excellent finisher, which is why he was able to finish Peterson, and so was Errol Spence. So if he catches him early, he's probably going to get him out of there.
And they caught him with, these were not looping shots like, say, Ortiz does, or sometimes Amir Khan does. These are very straight punches they get from point A to point B like that with maximum power.
Yes. So that's a totally different type of punch. It's very crisp, very accurate, very powerful, very textbook, which is why they teach you how to punch like that. So getting hit with those is a lot different than, like you said, getting hit with like a Victor Ortiz or a Tim Bradley. And Victor Ortiz is a powerhouse in itself. But when you got someone who's as sharp as Errol Spence hitting you with hard punches, you got a whole different game.
Yeah.
So that's how we're seeing this one. The only thing left now is to see it and see how it goes and break it down from there. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button too, so you can catch the recap and all of our other videos. Stay tuned. We also have our MMA preview coming up. We got Bellator this weekend as well as UFC 220. And we got a whole lot of big matches on both of those cards. So I'll probably be breaking those down later on in the week. Like I said, if you guys got anything you want to add, hit us up in the comments section. Hit us up on the social media. Those links are all in the description. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.